No, that's so brutal, dude. If I tell you how to play the game and everything that you should or shouldn't do, you're only gonna be as good as I am. You know what I mean? Like if you get all of your information from me, then you're only gonna have as much information as I gave you. But if you're able to like create your own ideas and watch things and kind of improve in that way, it's gonna be a lot better for you. So a lot of people ask me, they're like, hey, King, like, you do VOD reviews. Like, how do I do my own VOD reviews? And I don't have like a perfect way for a lot of these people to do it, right? I think that like recording your own game could be nice because then you can go through every little thing that you do. However, I have been using this app. It's called Outplayed. If you guys have seen me use it, it's on Overwolf. That's where I downloaded it. At first, when I downloaded this, I didn't think it was going to be like anything great, but I actually really like it because what it does is it'll clip your kills, your deaths, and your assists throughout the round. And you can go through each individual one. Basically, what you can do is after every night, what Lucas says he does is he goes through and he checks all of his deaths and his kills and stuff like that. And he kind of goes through it and he just he thinks of how could I have played this better? What could I have done different in this situation? Was that good? Was that bad? And just having these little thoughts can be really beneficial to you. And you don't need to be an immortal player to do this. You just need to have some sort of a brain and you need to think about like you need to think about the possibilities of things. And just thinking about it yourself, I think, could be really beneficial because so what I was going to do is I was going to kind of go over one of my own games, I think, today, and I was just going to kind of talk about like my process when I go through these things. So hopefully that like you can use it to help yourself improve. So if you end up downloading Outplayed, or if you just want to do it in like OBS or something, you record like a game, you can go through it as well. This is just a way that I find is a little bit easier for it. So where can I download it? Just look up Outplayed on Google or something, and I'm sure it'll come up. I don't have any like standard process that I was going to plan to go through this. I haven't even seen this game in a long time, so I might have some terrible plays in this. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel down below, check us out on Twitch, and let's get into it. Okay, going into it, so we could like watch our first kills and stuff when we could talk about it, but I don't think that's going to be like incredibly beneficial for like improving, right? It's fun to look at your own kills, and it's very like going through the Outplayed, and that's oftentimes what I'll do is I'll just go clips and I'll be like, oh, this was a cool play that happened, you know, like, oh man, look, I played this so well. But in reality, that's not how you're going to get better at the game. You're going to get a lot better at the game by focusing on your mistakes a little bit more. So notice right here though, this is something worth commenting on. I get a kill with the frenzy. No, I don't even get a kill right here. I blinded towards default. Luckily, I didn't hit my jet. When I'm going for this bomb plant, what I've started doing lately is I'll actually look up in the sky for shock darts. I think this is something that I could share with you guys if you haven't been doing this. If there's a Sova on the enemy team, you ever been killed by shock darts? It's really annoying. So I just look up into the sky just to see if shock darts are coming down. I do notice these are coming down, but I think that I can get out of the way. So as the shock darts are coming down, I end up moving out of the way. I do get out of the way here. The VOD actually stops right there, but back to the Outplayed. Yeah, the shock darts are coming down. Just look up in the sky. Check if there's shock darts coming down. Basically, is a safe thing that you could do if you're bomb planning. I mean, like, you're not gonna be doing anything else while bomb planning, right? So, then we'll move on. I do dodge the shock darts here, as you see. I'm playing with a frenzy. This is probably a bad angle for me to take it with the frenzy. Is something worth commenting on. I have a frenzy right now. If somebody has a ghost right here, maybe the Sova or this jet has this ghost, they could probably one-tap me from here. She does a tagging me right there. That's probably a bad angle for the frenzy. I probably wouldn't challenge that again in the future, but I'm playing a little bit dumb. It's first round of the game, you know. Push up into this smoke right here. End up getting the kill onto the jet. A little bit messy, but we do end up getting the kill there. And now I believe I'm pushing up behind the Sova. I don't end up getting the kill on him, but my teammate does. I'm kind of calming for them to not peek right now. So I think that was... I played that one pretty well, right? And again, looking at your kills, not always the most beneficial thing. But here's a death right here. Let's look at this. I remember this. So this was happening on stream. Basically what I'm doing at this point in time is I'm actually holding this smoke right here, and I'm saying the reason I'm not pushing this smoke is because I know that we're on an anti-eco. We have guns and they don't have guns, right? So I don't want to get close to them and give them the chance of taking me out. At a Spectre, the further away I am from them, the most optimal it's going to be for me. Ironically, what ends up happening as I've been explaining this to stream is I'm going to actually pull out my blind right now because this guy actually gets peeked from CT. So I want to try to help this guy. So what I do is I pull out my blind, and at the same time, the Reyna is actually going to peek me. Very unfortunate. I shouldn't have pulled out my blind right here because I am the only one watching tunnels right now. Nobody else is watching tunnels. It's just me watching tunnels. I can't pull out my blind to help these players. I need to hold down my position. And oftentimes what's going to happen is when a team goes for a retake, they want to retake together, right? No, you don't want to run in one by one, and any good player is going to know this. So they probably are going to try to coordinate their pressure at the same time, right? So as the Omen starts pushing in, I should expect that somebody might try to push through garage right here, and I end up actually pulling out my blind, and it ends up getting me killed right here. This is actually really bad. We end up winning the round still, I think, but I kind of threw right there, honestly. And it's like little things like that, right? Like just looking at the map and just seeing, okay, well, what went wrong here and how could we improve? You know, little things like that can be really beneficial for you. So let's go to our next death. Where's our next one? Right here. I have a sheriff right now. Looks like we're on a bonus round right now, I think, because I have a sheriff and a stinger. Toe Sucker gets a pick into garage, and we're going to be pushing into garage now. Uses his wall to help us exit. I'm going to smoke off CT. I don't think that's terrible yet. I do get blinded by my own teammate, and I'm hugging the corner here, and then I get killed by the guy Lumber. So I think that me pushing through this wall right here is probably a bad idea, right? This wall is nice for us to kind of extend onto site and kind of like overwhelm them. But one of the problems with it is that it actually blocks us off from seeing anybody on Lumber. So somebody could be here, they can be on Lumber, they could be close to us, they could even potentially push through the wall if they really wanted to. That's probably a dangerous decision because if anybody's still coming in through garage, it could be bad. But what ends up happening is we actually don't clear Lumber. And then when as I push through, unfortunate, I get blinded by my Phoenix and I end up hugging close. I probably should have crouched right here if I'm going to be like really just hiding there. I'm full blind. But that's something to keep in mind with this Phoenix wall is that as you use it, you still have to clear this area right here. And this is going to be a very dangerous area. Okay, let's go on to the next round. I'm using an operator here. I bought an operator on offense. I'm not a good opper. I don't know if I should. I don't know if there's a lot of critique I have for this round. I'm just really bad at opping. I'm gonna peek out here mid. It's not gonna go well for me. No, it's so brutal, dude. I just have an op and I'm just trying to peek this. I don't op enough for me to really know what I should have done better here. I guess just maybe do I wide swing with an op? Is my pre-aim off? I guess my pre-aim might be a little bit off. That's something I can mention. Where my pre-aim is. I'm like aiming in the middle of nowhere. So my pre-aim's a little bit off. That's unfortunate. That's not a round I'm going to beat myself up over though. I'm not an opper. I don't use the op. And every time I do use the op, I'm a little, I'm very regretful of it. I'm a rifler through and through. Every time I use the op, I normally end up dying. I don't know. I'm not too upset about that one. Here's the play I make a lot here. I think that I overextend a little bit in heaven sometimes. So I think this is something worth noticing. This is something that I've noticed in my own play. A lot of the times when I'll do this play where I'll ult heaven as Omen, and then I'll just try to hold it. I'll try to hold it as my team's coming in for A. Sometimes I'll kill the player on site if I'm able to. I'll blind them oftentimes, but I'm just trying to hold heaven to make their retake a lot more difficult. And what I'll do normally is I'll play like close to this corner. I don't normally like to stand in the corner because then people can pre-fire it sometimes and they'll kill me. So I like to stand like kind of just a little bit off of the corner. But what'll end up happening a lot of the times is like people will try to like flash through this. They'll try to like the jet updraft is something I see a lot. I don't understand why people do this, but it works. So like, see the updraft with the rifle. It definitely throws me off a little bit. I end up killing the jet, and I try to flick back and kill the Cypher. I don't think that was a terrible play, but I think that just smoking it off and just falling back might even be a move that I can make. I don't even think that would be terrible. So I do end up picking off the jet, though. I think that is advantageous to us a little bit, but the Cypher does get his ultimate off as well, and I don't actually know if we end up losing this round or not. This looks like I have a decent play here. What do I do here? I'm curious what I do here. Just trying to clear these corners. I like to look close right because people really like to hide in this corner. That's such an annoying corner because if they tuck their gun away, it's hard to see them. I clear left. There's the Omen. Get the kill into the Omen. I was okay with that kill. That kill was all right. Jet's on site. Weirdly, nobody's killed her. Killed the Jet too. I think she was in her own smoke or something. I think that's why we didn't see her. I got a triple here. What do I do here? Oh, I don't think I win this, but I think I get close. No, I do win this. I do win this round. I was happy about this one. Is there anything I could have done better here, though? I killed a Sova. One's playing here. I'm worried about that short player, so I'm trying not to peek them. I think that if you're in a situation like that, the problem is that I need to stop the bomb plant or the bomb defuse, but there's also a guy challenging me. Generally, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to challenge the guy who's challenging, and then this guy's going to have to pull off, right? But that's only if you have time, and I think I was kind of worried about time right here, but I probably had enough time to challenge this Reyna if I really wanted to. It does end up working out where I do end up actually winning this round because there is advantages, right? If you kill the bomb diffuser, then this Reyna actually has to come up. This gives me a lot of room to work with because after I killed the Cypher, I can back up. This Reyna needs to come up to the bomb to tap it. I'm thinking about using my ultimate, but the reason I don't is because if I use it, she's gonna hear me cancel it. So I actually don't end up using it, and then I get a lucky flick onto her right there. Ends up working out pretty well, but I thought that I played that one pretty well, so I'm not too upset about that. But let's go to the next one. This is another round where I ulted into heaven. I'm gonna try to hold this again. I'm holding it with no smoke right now. My smoke's back up. I'm smoking CT for my teammate, but trying to watch to make sure they don't push him. And then there's that player heaven right here. I think that pushing up here was a bad idea. After I gave up this angle, pushing back up towards him, I think is not the move. I think that just falling back would have been better again here. I think that I'm too afraid to fall back from heaven and just give them it. Heaven's hard to retake out of, honestly. Holding A-side heaven is so hard. It can be hard, and then like I don't think that it's advantageous to have heaven control as a defender when you're retaking, but it's also hard to get out of. Like you have to jump out of heaven, at which point you're entirely inaccurate. And if I just like fell back and played towards CT or something, I played like underneath heaven, and my Cypher is able to watch like along or something right here. Maybe he plays on default or something. I think this could have been a lot better for us, but because I decided to actually stick heaven, I ended up getting taken out, and then the Cypher's not able to clutch it out as well. Is that Lucas in this game? It is Lucas. Lucas tries to clutch it out. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up working out for him. You had TP. That's what I'm saying. I should have TP'd out. The bomb's playing it for long and short. It's playing it for heaven, too. I guess they could defuse right there, but it's definitely planted for me in heaven. No, I think I should have fallen back here. That's what I was thinking in the moment. I think I'm too afraid to fall back from positions like this sometimes. Just what I also could have done is rather than using the smoke right here, I could have used it, I guess, up by me, but I wanted to help the Cypher out a little bit, too. And it's just little things like this, right? Even if I don't come up with like the perfect solution, maybe next time I'm in that situation, I'll remember this and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to fall back here. You know, it's little things like this. It's not that it's going to make me an infinitely better player and it's gonna be like I'm gonna be tens tomorrow. But what's gonna happen is that you're gonna have the same situations again when you play, because that's just how this game is structured. It's structured in a round format where you're gonna be playing the same positions, the same angles, and you're gonna have the same circumstances. Where it's like the next time I'm in heaven and I'm in a 2v3 or something like that, I'm gonna be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't push this. Maybe I should fall back with my teammate, and maybe I'll try that, and maybe it'll work, you know? And it's just having those other ideas in your head that are going to help you a lot. Let's look at one more death just so you guys get the idea. This one I'm opping once again. Oh, that's funny. He ends up winning this round. I just missed my shot. I don't want to look at the op rounds. I'm really bad at opping. I think that's just an aim thing, right? I should have just landed that shot. Maybe I'm doing something entirely wrong. Maybe that's not the way to look at it, but we have to roll an ad while we're making a video. Okay, dude. Okay, let's look at this death. This is one right here. Gonna be smoking off C-Long. I wonder if this is just an aim issue right here. So I actually fell back from garage, but what I did is I smoked it off so that they have to use some sort of utility to actually enter garage. Generally, you don't want to just like give up an area, but garage is kind of hard to hold. Just with like flashes that can come in, they can Omen blind this, they could Sova recon it, drone could come in, they use Cypher Cam. There's so much utility that they could use right here. And a lot of the times it's just better to play it more safely. Use like some sort of utility to slow down any push or make it so they'd be dangerous for them to just push in alone. I do call out that I'm leaving garage most of the time when I do this, but I think that by dropping the smoke here, they need to use some utility. They Cypher Cam in. But the problem is that I noticed that it doesn't seem like anybody's watching garage, and I actually go for this peek right here. I remember this now. And I should just assume that they could already be in garage. So I check this angle. Nobody's right here, right? But the Sova is actually already in. I see his shoulder right there. And after I see his shoulder, I think I go for the peek on him. I could have just fallen back. After you see a player like right here, this is not advantageous for me. He's looking at me, right? I just saw him. I just back off here and I make the call that he's in there. But instead I take the challenge. He's already pre-aiming me. That was a really dumb challenge for me to make. I should have just fallen back right there. I already have the info that he's in garage. They use the cam. I could fall back. My jet could hold garage window. I could hold C site, making sure that they don't push. We have our Raze looking this direction. Like, I think this hold would have been pretty decent right here. Maybe we even rotate a player from A at this point. But just the peak right there. Now what happens is I went down. If there's one player on C and one player right here, they can push either of these guys. Maybe they can even double back. They can just reset. This is really bad for us at this point. That was bad that I got picked right there. Thank you for the follow there, XQL, by the way. after going through a few of those rounds, like you probably sort of understand the idea. It's just looking at what you did and what you could have done better. If you die, try not to chalk it up as, oh, well, I just missed my shots, right? Because oftentimes there's a lot of things that you could have done better, right? Like, realistically speaking, I could have just annihilated this Sova. That's the thing that I could have just done. I could have wide swung this and one tapped him and been like, oh, cool, like I killed that guy, right? Maybe I just got to aim better next time. But in reality, that's not the smarter way to play it necessarily. I saw that Sova, he had an advantage right there. I could have just backed off and it would have been better. And like thinking about it like that a little bit more critically, I think is going to be a lot better for players. But yeah, if this has been helpful to you at all, if you guys are downloading Outplayed, let me know in the comments below. Check us out on your Twitch, subscribe to the channel down below, do all the cool things, and I appreciate you guys.